Hello, friends. Welcome to this session of the business tips and tricks. And this is, as you know, friends, this is a live event, and I meet you every day live from 3 to 4. And objective of this live stream is to basically take up your questions and help you with any startup related issues, any business related issues, and also provide a little bit of guidance when it comes to business. So anyone who wants to ask me any question, kindly feel free to use the chat function. Send me your thoughts, send me your comments, send me your suggestions, and we can have an interactive discussion. So there are several questions running in your mind as a startup, and I'm sure there are you want like to take some second opinion, and you can ask me, and from my experience of 30 years I can offer you some guidance or some ways of handling situations that you may come across when you're starting your company. So there are several things happening in the market, and when we say several things happening in the market, and if you're basically in business, you are getting affected by these changes which are happening in the market. So while I await your question or any suggestions, I will start by giving you inputs of what is going on, some of the important things which are affecting businesses without any prejudice. So the first item on our list is especially for Indians. What is happening? The China has been, flexing muscle at the border, not only in India but across the world. Wherever their boundaries touching some other country, they have an issue. So China has become very powerful, and they are exerting their strength as far as United States of America. But the only country which is standing between the world and the China is India, and India has also taken a lot of decisions in terms of controlling their influence in India, because India is also a large country and India is also a production hub. So India is trying to become an alternative to China, and there's a lot of difference between China and India. China being a sort of a single person driven large country, whereas India is democracy based environment, and on top of that, there are several states, and each of these states have different regulation, different government, which are also elected by the people. So therefore, this is a very vast democratic country as compared to China. People feel much more free when they come to India, because things are driven in more free environment. Unlike China, because you don't know what is going to happen to your officers, and if you are if somebody in your organization makes somebody higher up in China unhappy, God knows what will happen to him. So all of these questions are there when it comes to China, and therefore India, for bringing the foreign investment, is a very good place for the foreign investors. However, India is also a very big market. There are a lot of consumers, and India has variety of consumers, from Mercedes to a ball pen. You can sell it in India and in bulk. So there was a lot of influx of these China produced products into India, but government has not put any regulation in terms of stopping people. Government has not banned any business with China. Government has not done anything, because Indian government is a democratic government. They will not be taking any autocratic decision. Just because China is misbehaving, we should take a decision which is against the United Nations Charter. So India has not done anything like that, but the people of India themselves have realized, and this is something which I want to bring to you, is that this information is that 6 out of every 10 Indians has stopped buying China produced products. Made in China products are gradually not being purchased by the Indian masses. And if you look at the Indian population, there are at least a billion people who are the probable customers. The population of India is much more. It's about 1.35 billion, but I'm saying that 350 million may be children. So if a billion people who are the prospective buyer for these products, 60% of these buyers have stopped buying made in China products. Instead, they are choosing to buy made in India products. So this is a tremendous change in the economy and the buying, practices of the consumer here in India. The consumers are preferring more and more India-produced, items, and therefore it's a good news for Indian businesses because that market is shrinking. The supply chain from China is shifting to local supply chain. Therefore, there is a lot of contribution which can be made by the Indian businesses, whether it in terms of manufacturing, whether it is in terms of sales and marketing, also in supply chain management, warehousing. So whole lot of opportunities are opening up, and this data is very important. And if you're watching my live stream, you should get this pointer that made in India products are on demand within India. And the trend is that more than 50% people are preferring Indian producers and they are not interested in buying imported stuff. So I think there is an opportunity for all the businesses in India to show what they can do and how they can be providing very good quality products and fill the gap of what the Chinese are providing, or probably we can actually provide the similar products in a much cheaper, much better way. All right, so this is one thing which is very significant this week, and therefore I thought I will talk about this. And as you know, friends, I'm live, so if you have any questions, any suggestions, feel free to use the chat function. Send me your thoughts and I will take up your questions immediately. All right, so let's move to the second item, which is about YouTube. And this is a very big thing, friends. I mean, YouTube has announced a couple of days back that in middle of 2023, they will be launching online courses. It's like pretty much like Udemy and Masterclass or any other education platforms like Byju's etc. So YouTube has already provided monetization facility to their to their content providers, and they have said that they will also allow the content producers to make different kinds of courses and sell them on YouTube platform. So that will be the ninth avenue other than advertising and all other monetization that is possible on YouTube platform. So this is a very big move by YouTube because there are already millions of YouTube creators, and this is coming from YouTube India, and YouTube India will incentivize the content creators to create various kinds of course material and host it on YouTube platform. So YouTube is a very, very easy to use platform, does not require too much, and if you have the skill, you can create different courses. Now the important thing is that these courses will be initially launched in India, UK and US. So three largest economy of the world, the YouTube courses will be launched. And this is going to be a very, very big change in the industry because this is directly going against the likes of Byju's and also the likes of Udemy in the US, and it is coming on YouTube. So there are a lot of opportunities for the content creators to create all kinds of different high-tech or low-tech courses which are utilized by the students world over, and the pricing mechanism will be similar to what the YouTube offers. So some may be free, some may be charged, all kinds of monetization which will be incorporated in the single platform. So this is something which is going to happen, and India itself is a very large market, and all these courses will be launched. So the testing ground for YouTube Global is the Indian YouTube, and the Indian organization of YouTube has announced this change. By middle of 2023, all these facilities will be started on YouTube. So if you are a course creator, a teacher, and if you have some bright ideas, YouTube will give you placeholder to put your curriculum, your course material, and it can be consumed not only in India but also in UK and US. And US is also a very big market, so automatically your courses will be available across the world. So wait for it, friends. This is a big change. It is going to change the ed tech arena. There are several companies who are currently deployed in creating different kinds of applications for the education sector. I think they will be affected by this. So keep that in mind, that large platforms like YouTube, when they are coming out with this kind of service, it is going to move and shake lot of these services, and also affect a lot of people. It will also influence the content creators, and it will give a chance for content creators to come up with more innovative ideas and course material to have yet another sellable item on YouTube platform. All right, let's move to the next one, because I think this is very interesting. I am quite excited to see what YouTube comes out with. Moving to the next one. Well, e-commerce business is completely crowded, and we thought that Amazon is the largest player, followed by Walmart, etc., Flipkart, and there are several across different countries, and each one of these e-commerce platforms are trying to find their niche, because people, if they are not able to find an item on Amazon, where else they will find it? So that means the largest market is with Amazon. Every business is basically trying to sell their produce on Amazon, and but there was still a gap in the market, and Gautam Adani led business house found area which was not covered, and that is the airports. And they have launched an application specially for the e-commerce happening on the airport. This application is called Adani One, and it is going to be completely integrated with the shop outlets in the airport, starting with all the Indian airports. So when you go to airport, you not only actually get access to your boarding passes. So the Adani One will have place for booking your generating your boarding pass and register your ticket, etc., and so on and so forth. If you want to basically order meal, you can do that on this app. Apart from that, once you are at the airport, then you go around, and most of the time, airports are very large structures, and it takes a lot of time to roam around. Whereas all of these outlets will be available on Adani One. So in your taxi ride or wherever you are, you can choose what you want to buy when you reach the airport. Maybe you want to buy a suit for your meeting, or you want to replace your shoes because something has gone wrong, or you want to buy a bag. So these are the things that you can pick up, and many more medicines and confectionaries, maybe gift items. All of this can be pre-ordered, and when you reach the airport, you can actually just pick them up. So this is one gap. Very smartly, Adani Group, some smart guy has come out with this gap, which was not available because when you order on Amazon, it will reach your home, but here you are in transit. So you should be able to leverage the e-commerce power, and while you are in transit at the airport, you should be able to fulfill your e-commerce desires and order whatever you want. So this was one gap which very smartly identified by Adani One and addressed. And therefore this is interesting, because we thought that the battle between the e-commerce giant has come and gone, but wait, it is not over, because there were still gaps in the market, and Adani One is addressing this area which was completely overlooked. And friends, if you're a big time traveler, I think you can download Adani One and see if it works for you, and try it out. You start with small items, see if you can actually order them, and without wasting time and going around on the airport, if you're very clear in your mind that this is what you want, you can just go to that outlet in the airport, or also in duty-free areas, and just pick that up. All right, so let's move to the next item on our list, which may change the way we do business. and today is December 20th. So a lot of things are happening very rapidly. Every day, new things are happening. So next stuff is about India acquiring the G20 presidency. And it is a very big deal because now for 1 year, India will host the G20 presidency. And G20, as you know, is the group of 20 top countries in the world. So out of these 200 countries, the top 20 countries which have the biggest economy and the biggest influence are part of G20. So they are kind of among all the countries, G20 are the top countries, which matters. Basically, G20 drives the entire world. And then G20 is being hosted, the presidency is being hosted for 1 year by India. So India is actually also a large country, number 4th economy in the world. And for 1 year, there will be a lot of programs which will be run by the Indian government to promote various aspects of growth and progress across the world. Because, G20 is a countries which are most happening. And if the G20, a group of 20 countries, grow along with India, this is the best thing. And to promote this, there are a lot of programs being announced by India. In fact, 2023 will be an important year for Indian businesses, because as part of G20 presidency, a lot of global business houses will look towards India, and how better we can leverage this opportunity will remain to the innovation of the Indian businesses. And we know that Indians are very innovative, and because of that, Google has provided complete assurance in supporting India during the next year of G20 presidency, because Indian government has big plans. They want to launch many services around G20 presidency, and you would need systems and processes to support all those plans which will be launched. And Google has already come forward, and Sundar Pichai has already assured our Prime Minister Modi that his organization in India will provide all support that is possible, that is required in order to launch these various development related services in India. So I think all of us must stay tuned, especially in January onwards, and keep very closely a watch on what are the announcements of the government, so that we can leverage and use those opportunities for our own benefit. All right, let's move to the last item on our list today, and that is again, we can't end our discussion without discussing Mr. Elon Musk. Well, Twitter has been going through a lot of sudden changes, and it appears that these changes are happening too rapidly. I personally believe, as a businessman myself, that these changes are too rapid, and sometimes it appears like a knee-jerk reaction. Why Twitter is changing their entire ecosystem suddenly, and they are completely destroying their revenue pipeline. And yesterday we talked about one of the news article, which is going to be news article services, which is liked by millions of people, called Review, is now being stopped simply because Twitter has said that they will be changing the rule of the game and increasing the character limit from 400 something to nearly 4,000. That means you will be able to now write long essay in Twitter. So God knows why this decision has been taken, without doing any dipstick marketing, whether people need it or not. But apart from that, there are several changes. For example, blue tick, it has been launched already twice, and the cost of acquiring blue tick is as much as acquiring a monthly subscription of Netflix. And then again, there are different prices. On Android there is X price, and on iPhone there is more price. So there are obviously 50% people use iPhone to access Twitter, so 50% of the global population will pay more than the rest of the 50%. So I think there is a whole lot of confusion around that. On top of it, they have started more ticks. There is a gray tick and there is a square tick in front of your Twitter handle. So so they have started that also for larger organizations and government organizations. So I think you can go and read what these gray tick, blue tick, and square ticks are. And they've also stopped linking the platform from where you're coming into the Twitter. So a whole lot of changes are happening very, very rapidly. I think that's not good for business. So while all these changes were happening, there were a lot of changes happening on Tesla also. There were the shares being sold out in the market, Tesla shares being sold out by the promoters. So in wake of all this, Elon Musk has started a poll just 3 days back, saying that if the people choose that he should step down, then he will. And today the results are out. They are public on the Twitter platform, and he has actually lost the poll. Most of the people feel that he should step out as a CEO. He can be an investor, but his position as a CEO, new chief of Twitter, is not what he should be doing. And so let's see whether he steps down as a CEO of Twitter. This is something which is very interesting, because Twitter has undergone several changes very rapidly, and this is something which is happening with Twitter. And I think the next 2 to 3 days will be quite interesting to see who will replace Elon Musk, if he at all steps down, because he's already said that if people say they don't want him as a CEO, he will step down. So he's already stated that publicly. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens next. So Twitter is undergoing a lot of changes, while the Indian competitor of Twitter, which is Coup, has already started putting an application on their app, a functionality on their app, where you can migrate all your Twitter handles to Coup. So a lot of these things are happening. I'm sure every country must be having different competition, which may be trying to eat the pie of Twitter because of all these confusion. So we leave that to the Twitter management to decide, but this is something which is happening. And if your business is riding big time on Twitter, I think this is a time to rethink your marketing strategy, especially with regard to Twitter. So friends, I will like to take your leave, and I will catch you again at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Until then, keep rocking, keep selling, and keep growing your business. Bye bye for today.